What's up, guys, and welcome back for another solo mining episode. We're going to be going after some pyrite and a little bit of isogen today. So we're in our trusty prospect and everything. This episode might feel a little different. We're kind of do this more of like a journal style situation. I've already been out here to kind of bookmark a little bit, just because that's kind of good practice. But we do have a refinery station here. Try to do a few prospect loads and stuff. Now we are reusing crystals for this, so coherents are going to be for omber, and then we'll switch over when we need to switch rocks. But these anomalies are pretty big. Looks like we got a pretty good spot right here where we can not be decloaked by anything. But let's go and switch to our mining tab. Go distance pro. We're gonna go with this golden omber right here. So let's go ahead and get this kind of started. Or we should probably decloak first. Now we're doing a lot of industry, so we definitely want like the omber and the pyro and that stuff. Come on. Okay, we gotta come in a little bit. We gotta come in like 1 kilometer. 1 or 2. It's the only thing about these expedition frigates. They don't have great range. But we want to. These anomalies are kind of difficult to kind of be in range with the prospect and still maintain distance to be able to cloak at any time. But if we do run into trouble, we will just kind of warp 100 off a structure or whatever. I'm going to try to focus on the omber here, because this golden omber, let's go and look at it. This is going to have some isogen in it and some pyrite. Pyrite we do get from other sources. It's kind of one of the bigger things that's going to come out of this stuff. But I haven't shown this anomaly in a solo mining episode yet. So I figure we'll come out here today and kind of show this off. Plus this system's pretty dead right now, so we can kind of chill here for a little bit. But we don't have a survey scanner on here, so I can't really show you how big these rocks are. But as you can see, if you're on one side of this anomaly, you can actually warp to the other side. If you have a bookmark, they're pretty massive. It's probably about 450 kilometers in length or whatever. But other than that, we've been just kind of like doing our daily mining thing. We've been prioritizing a lot of ice for the fuel block stuff, but I've also been kind of working on the other materials as well too. So we have made a few ventures and stuff. Ventures aren't really difficult. You can go out there and get like calyxium or whatever, and then go out and get some like isogen source or something, and you're pretty much good to go. But we'll have to go probably a little deeper into our cluster to like find like noxium and zydrine and stuff like that, which is probably going to be a focus later this week, is kind of sourcing that stuff. But we did do quite a bit of trit mining the other day, so we do have like 1 million or so trit on hand, but there's only like 1 or 2 loads in the prospect. We can do better than that. And we're making those ventures for either backup sinos for ourselves, or we can sell them on the market here locally for people wanting those hulls for sinos. No one's out here mining in ventures. They're primarily just sino sources. But everything else, also just having all this material kind of on hand allows us some options if we want to bring out new BPOs or whatever to use. We're about to complete this first cycle here. Now, if you haven't already, check out the Patreon page. We are doing exclusive content over there, and that's kind of more like the deep dive stuff into fuel block production, nanite repair paste, a lot of status updates for that kind of stuff. And the Patreon page actually gets updated with new content pretty much every day, with the exception of weekends. Weekends are usually when I'm not playing Eve too much, or I'll do strictly just do PI processing on the weekend and everything. But I cover all the PI stuff I do on there as well. And also, it's a good way to support the channel and all that good stuff. So what we'll do is we'll actually fill up with omber probably, and then we'll compress it, because we'll just fly off and compress it in the Athanor here, and then we'll actually come back and grab some of this other stuff. This Mordunium is basically just pure pyrite. Not a huge priority on that. I really came out here for the omber, because, and also we could also grab this cordite too for some trit if needed. But pure omber or pure pyrite as a repros is not necessarily something I desperately need. I much prefer out here to just kind of grab rocks that kind of have at least 2 things in it. Definitely the isogen stuff and everything. Let's sort by type here. So we have 2 golden omber, and then looks like we had 4 regular omber. And then what else do we got in here? And then we got some prize stuff. Yeah, and we got silvery omber down here, 2 of those. So we've got like 6 rocks, or 12 rocks rather, of omber, which is going to require us to bounce around this anomaly quite a bit. But golden is, both these golden rocks are actually right here next to each other, so we can kind of focus on getting those. Go ahead and locate. We'll go ahead and locate that other one, which is right here. It's like 79. I say close by. It's like 79k from us. But that's why we have a prop mod. It's way down there in the midst of all those decorative rocks. So what we can do is once this rock dies, and I don't know how big these are. Like I said, I don't have a survey scanner. But once this rock dies, we'll just kind of gun it down there and mine that out if we're not filled up already. This allows us to kind of, and we only have these 2 coherent crystals too, so if we burn these, we will just switch to something that uses simples. I usually only keep 2 of each in this prospect because I'm usually not out for really long stints with this ship. Now, since we're waiting on this rock, I'm going to probably make some changes to this, my daily driver here, this prospect. I'm probably going to remove the sensor booster 2s. This is more of like a wormhole fit. Probably remove this warp core stab and these nanofibers. I'm probably going to try to figure out how I can just grab mining laser 2 upgrades all in the lows here. Even if that means downgrading the 1MN afterburner 2 to like a cold endearing or something or whatever. But I think just to like make this like a yield stick for the most part. Because since we are kind of evasive with our covert cloak, it allows us to kind of just get out of the way if something happens. So I'm not sure we need like the nanofibers or any of that stuff too much. I've already done about 1.4 million on this, but a lot of the value is actually in the refine. So once we actually refine it in our home system, then you'll see. I probably won't show that. I'll probably just stack these up as compressed, because I'm not actually planning on building anything with this stuff right now. But when I do get to the point where I can build something, I want that already to be on hand, since it's kind of a logistical, chain of events that has to happen. We're going outside of our home system to mine. We compress it here. Luckily, we can compress it here and then kind of carry it back, and then we'll take it to the refinery. From there, it'll actually get refined and then put into the jump freighter or the freighter, and then carried over to the engineering complex, where it'll basically sit as in raw form until it's until something is made from it. But one of the bigger reasons I want to kind of adjust this bit to just being more of a yield stick is so I can come out here and fill up the cargo on these ore anomalies a lot quicker and everything. I know in high sec I was doing a lot of Mackinac and stuff like that. It's just out here I just kind of prefer the covert gameplay. So I have a Mackinac and a Hulk in home system, but I primarily use those for when we're dragging like ice. If I really want to do vast amounts of a few hundred units of ice, pretty quickly, dragging a Hulk or behind a Rorqual or something, just kind of gets it done. But for the most part, I don't really mind for profit. I don't really manufacture for profit anymore either. So I don't really mind kind of like the covert kind of gameplay that I get from expedition frigates out here in Null, because I'm kind of just like enjoying mining in this configuration with this ship and everything, and that's kind of important. I think it's important to actually enjoy, like, I mean, I can't tell how many times I've been out on mining ops and stuff in the past where I've had like, whether it was an Orca or a Rorqual, and multiple alts and hulks and max yield dragging, doing like maximum yield, and it's tedious, not necessarily fun for me. It's great, like yield, absolutely amazing yield, but it was not like the enjoyment factor was just not there. And since I'm not focused on yield anymore, I don't really plan on doing anything crazy like that anymore. I think it's more interesting to see kind of what you can actually do with just a prospect or endurance in terms of like manufacturing and PI and all that stuff. And that's kind of my existence now. Nullsec for me is still, I mean, I have multiple tunes out here now, but most of them are just doing PI and stuff. And I have one tune that I can use as like a sino to move the Rourke or the jump rate around if need be. But on the day-to-day, most of the time if I'm out mining the day-to-day, I've got one character out there because it's just chill. It's just a lot easier to manage, and I kind of like just flying around with the covert cloak, to be honest. Even my ratting ships, like that's why I like the Tengu so much, is because it's got that covert cloak. Or like, we got the buzzard and all that stuff. It's like, I like the golem too. Marauders are kind of nerfed. It doesn't have like, covert, ops capability, but it just does a ridiculous amount of damage, to be honest. But the increase in that bastion timer is kind of unfortunate, which I haven't really been doing a whole lot of Marauder stuff since then. I have a golem in system, but I just haven't really felt the urge to go out there and rat. But I have them on hand just in case one day I decide, oh, I want to go, take down some rat sites or whatever. But these prospect and endurances that I brought out here, I've really gotten some mileage put on them. They're one of my, I didn't used to use these actually for the longest time. Like I was able to fly a Rorqual before I was even trained in order to fly like a expedition frigate. I was always kind of shunned away from them in past alliances and corporations as them not being useful. And now that I'm like, now that I've been operating my own corporation for several years and I'm out here in nullsec and stuff, it's like these things are great. Absolute great utility and all of that. But in terms of like, kind of what you can be looking forward to for this series, I'm going to be showcasing a bunch of different mining in nullsec. I've been trying to like, over the past few episodes, show the different anomalies and stuff. Once we get like T3 anomalies, kind of starting to pop up, I'll try to show those. I don't know if I'll take the Rorqual out to them. I know they're built for like the capital stuff, but I still don't really see the value in kind of sieging up the Rorqual out there. I think it'll be like a drag situation. Take the Rorqual out there and, with the Hulk, and just kind of drag along the long axis of that anomaly and just take those rocks down. And that's what's nice about dragging. If there's really big rocks, and you could put like 3 or 4 alts, all their lasers on that one rock, and not worry too much about them juicing it out too fast, then that is super it's super simple to do. It's when you have small rocks and you're running multiple alts and you have to manage all of them and keep all their lasers going because they're killing rocks really fast, where it gets tedious. So anytime there's a situation where there's a large rock and you can justify putting like 6 to 8 lasers on it, that just makes everything simple. Which is how I would approach the newer, I guess you could call bigger capital mining anomalies. Is I would just, if I had to put my recommendation out, 2 or 3 hulks behind like a Rourke or a even a porpoise, just, drag alongside of it and just put as many lasers on it as possible and prop it and everything. I think we'll probably actually finish up with this cargo on this prospect. I don't want this video to run too long. I want these solo mining episodes to be kind of a daily thing, kind of like a daily journaling of like what I'm doing in nullsec and stuff. So today's topic, obviously, isogen, getting that omber out here, shopping around. And I guess while we're waiting for this like to finish up, like the agency is like your biggest friend, depending on where you are in nullsec. Going in here and looking at, go to resource harvesting, go to ore anomalies. You want to go in here and look at what's available. So this is one we're on right now. This has actually got mercoxit in this system as well too. So tomorrow we might actually go do some mercoxit. I did some a couple days ago. Good source of morphite. Really good value on that stuff. I'm kitted for it right now, but I don't want this video to run too long and off topic. But what else we got here? We got like this one, Grimier. I guess that's how you say that. This is like the primary. This is actually a pretty good isogen source too, but this would be like your isogen trit. I would say Golden Omber is actually doing us a little bit better right now, just because we're getting more units of isogen. We're just not getting trit. Trit is like your overall use, used in everything kind of a situation. The one thing I used to do a lot in nullsec actually is mercoxit mining, pretty much exclusively. Several years ago, just did nothing but PI, manufacturing reaction, and mercoxit. But now that like we kind of have access to a lot of different materials here in nullsec, I get to kind of break up the monotony a little bit. Go out for pyrite and pyrite and isogen one day, or trit and isogen the next day, or kind of break it up and everything and do different things, which is great. It's added some variety. But we do need to start actually stacking mercoxit for sure. But what we'll do is when we go and do that, we will come out here and grab several loads of that stuff. Because keeping morphite on hand will be nice if when we start exporting stuff back to Jita. We can kind of pad the value on those jump freighter loads with morphite. Makes it worth it. For instance, if we were going to like export a larger number of fuel blocks, which you normally wouldn't do, their ISK per M3 value is not great. But you could you pad that contract with like a bunch of morphite and make that freight contract make more sense and whatnot. But I figure we'll in this video actually, by like kind of going out there, we'll warp 100 to that mercoxit belt so you can kind of see what it looks like. I'm going to try to redo this prospect fit so that we have a scanner on it. So when we're out here doing these anomalies, I can kind of show the size of these rocks and stuff, which I think is important. I've just, this fit has been kind of built and purpose built for wormholes. And I just haven't really done a whole lot of changes to it to reflect more of like the gameplay we're doing kind of right now. We'll go and pull these. Yeah, see that already filled up. So we're good to go. Let's go in here, find it. Large mercoxit. We're going to go, and when I'm scouting, I'm always going 100k off. We're going to wait till we clear the anomaly before we try to throw cloak on, which kind of give you a good idea. I want to say there's probably like 7,000 morphite in one of these anomalies, but these have to be cleared too. So we might actually have to come out here with the Tengu and clear these. But there's just a couple of battleships, nothing that the Tengu can't handle. But as you see, it's got quite a bit of mercoxit rocks, the 3 different variants too. But you just need to be mindful because you want to come out here and actually clear all this stuff before you bring a mining ship out. Definitely a prospect because there's no defenses on this thing. All right, let's go and dock, but that's going to be it for this video. Just keeping you guys updated on everything I'm doing. Like I said, if you want exclusive content, exclusive daily content, go head over to Patreon. A little bit more in the weeds coverage and updates for everything I'm doing over there. And also a great way to support the channel. Hit the like button here. Hit the subscribe button to get notified. And I'll see you guys in the next one.